Brought to you by our exclusive fabric partners. Be sure to look for their newest lines of fabric.
Welcome to Quiltmaker's Block Network. I'm Denise Starck with Quiltmaker magazine. Today I'll be sharing Rolling River Block 78, designed by Joyce Robinson for Quiltmaker's 100 Blocks Volume 1. I'll show you how to make this block, and then I'll give you some tips for sewing and cutting bands. For this block, you will need 3 coordinating fabrics. The cutting dimensions to make the 12-inch block are on the screen. If you'd like to write these down, please pause your video. First, you will need to make your band by sewing the strips together. You may find it helpful to lay out your strips in the order they get sewn together to keep things organized. Sew the first 2 strips together. Now add the next strip, but sew it in the opposite direction. So if the first 2 we've sewn this way, when you add the third one, sew the opposite direction. This will keep the stitching even as you keep adding more strips. If you were to sew the strips together in the same direction each time, you're likely to get some distortion and stretching. Take care when pressing your strips to avoid the stretching. Continue adding the strips until your band is complete. Here you can see the completed band. Now we can cut our units for the block. Depending on how your strips came together, you might need to cut a clean edge on your band. Using one of the lines on your ruler, we're going to line that up along one of the seams that we have sewn. This will help you keep it perpendicular and straight to your sewn lines. Keep your ruler steady as it lays on top of the seam allowances. It may have a tendency to rock a little bit. You can also press your seam allowances open to reduce the bulk and cut down on that rocking of your ruler. Once you have squared up your edge, you're ready to cut your units. Flip your band around so that you can line up from your squared edge to cut your units. You'll use the horizontal line again, lined up on the seam allowance, so that you can make nice straight cuts, and you'll line up the 2-inch along your edge. Cut the band in 2-inch intervals to make 6 units. Let's assemble the block. Arrange the units so that they alternate directions like this. So we have the green at this end, and the next one we have at the opposite end, and you'll do that for each of your 6 units. Sew the units and the A patch together. Here's your completed block. When you combine several of these blocks into a quilt, some interesting things happen depending on the rotation of the blocks. The first example uses the block in alternating rows. In this second example, I rotated the blocks and a large pinwheel is created by the A patches. In the third example, I rotated the blocks to create a zigzag design. This block has so much potential for creating interesting quilts. Rolling River and 99 other wonderful blocks can be found in Quiltmaker's 100 Blocks Volume 1. Thank you for joining us at Quiltmaker's Block Network, and we hope to see you next time. Let me get my ruler going so I can line it up the right way.